never thought winning the lottery would become a nightmare, but that's exactly what happened to me. My life took a sinister turn after I hit the jackpot, and I learned the hard way that wealth can attract more than just fortune seekers. It can also attract something far more sinister. The day my numbers were drawn was a day of pure jubilation. I watched the televised drawing with bated breath, and when I realized that every single one of my chosen numbers matched, I couldn't contain my excitement. I was a millionaire, and my life was about to change forever. At first, it was a whirlwind of celebration and euphoria. Friends and family came out of the woodwork, offering their congratulations and seeking their share of the newfound wealth. I was more than happy to help those I loved, sharing my good fortune with them. Little did I know that my generosity would be the first thread in a web of terror that would soon ensnare me. The first sign that something was amiss came when I began receiving anonymous letters in the mail. They were handwritten in elegant script, but the words they contained were anything but pleasant. They accused me of being selfish, of not sharing enough of my winnings, and threatened dire consequences if I didn't comply. At first, I dismissed the letters as the ramblings of a disgruntled individual, perhaps someone who had expected more from me. But as the letters grew more sinister, I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. They spoke of curses and revenge, and they were filled with the chilling knowledge of my every move. As the weeks passed, the threats escalated. Late-night phone calls filled with whispered threats became a nightly occurrence. I changed my phone number multiple times, but the calls always resumed, as if the caller could track me down, no matter where I went. I consulted the police, but without concrete evidence, they could do little to help. They advised me to keep a record of the harassment, but the stalker was careful not to leave any traces. I felt helpless and increasingly paranoid, constantly looking over my shoulder. Then came the nightmarish incidents that made me question my sanity. I would wake in the middle of the night to find my windows shattered, my home vandalized with cryptic symbols and messages. I installed security cameras, but they captured nothing. No sign of an intruder, no explanation for the horrifying events. The nights grew longer, and I slept with one eye open, my nerves frayed by the relentless torment. I even hired private investigators, but they, too, could find no leads. It was as if my stalker existed only in the shadows, beyond the reach of law enforcement. As the months dragged on, the toll on my mental and emotional well-being became unbearable. My relationships with friends and family deteriorated as I withdrew into a cocoon of fear and paranoia. I became convinced that someone close to me was behind the torment, but I couldn't trust anyone anymore. One evening, as I returned home from yet another fruitless meeting with investigators, I found a note taped to my front door. It was a picture of me, taken from a distance, going about my daily routine. The message was chillingly clear. I was being watched, studied, and the stalker was always one step ahead. I decided to take matters into my own hands. I relocated to a different city, changed my name, and lived in seclusion, hoping that the torment would finally cease. But it didn't. The calls, letters, and nightmares persisted, following me like a relentless shadow. I became a recluse, venturing out only when absolutely necessary. The isolation was maddening, but it was the only way I could maintain some semblance of safety. And then, one fateful night, as I lay in my new, secure apartment, I heard a sound, a soft, almost imperceptible tapping at my window. My heart raced as I approached cautiously, and what I saw made my blood run cold. There, on the other side of the glass, was a figure dressed in dark clothing, their face obscured by a mask. They held up a sign with a single word, written in crimson letters: "Enough." Before I could react, the figure disappeared into the night, leaving me trembling with fear and confusion. I knew that my stalker had found me once again, that there was no escape from this relentless torment. I contemplated going public with my story, hoping that exposure might force my tormentor to back off. But the fear of retaliation, of what they might do next, kept me silent. To this day, I live in fear, constantly looking over my shoulder, wondering when the next threat will come. I don't know who my tormentor is or what they want, but one thing is clear: I won the lottery, but I also won a never-ending nightmare, a curse that continues to haunt me, reminding me that sometimes even the greatest of fortunes can turn into the darkest of tragedies.